So I was filming another video, and as I was filming that video, I cut it in the middle because I said something that made me realize I want to make this video. And this is going to be about social media, more particularly what I think about it, why I'm not using social media right now, and why I've had a honestly negative outlook on social media in the last, I want to say, 2 years or so. So let me go ahead and start off by defining what I think social media is. I think social media comes in a few different varieties. There's social media that is completely, those are the types where you don't really follow people, but you get information from there. You are, it's kind of like a homepage. So I would call Reddit that kind of social media. And then there's the other kind where you follow people, follow friends, follow things that you are interested in, and you see content based on that. That would be Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, stuff like that. And then there's another one where I see it's being a bit more personal, but also does kind of straddle that line of being shared with people as well, and that would be Snapchat. Then there's also things like Discord, where I don't want to call it a social media platform, but it does connect people. There's a big social element to Discord as well. So there's a couple of types. So recently, in the last 2 years or so, I've started to drift away from Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. I never was on TikTok, and I stopped using Snapchat 5-6 years ago because ever since Instagram stories came out, I was just like, I don't want to use two different apps for creating the same kind of content. So I stopped using Snapchat and kind of shifted to Instagram stories. Then, why is it that I have stopped using it now? The reason is that as time went on, I started to realize that social media was ruining my life. And it wasn't ruining in my life in the sense that I was, there was like some major issue to it, but there was a lot of small things that added up that I realized that it was really causing issues for me. I think the most important one has to be the false sense of community. It really is problematic and toxic because you'll realize that social media, let's just talk about a particular example being Instagram stories. You say you follow 500 people on Instagram. Some of them are your friends, some of them can be celebrities, some of them can be artists, some of them can be just random information pages, news pages, information sources, whatever. So you say you have 500 people on there. Every day, say you sit down and you watch these stories of people. What happens is when you're watching this story, you get a sense that you have interacted with that person. You get a sense that, hey, I saw this person's story, that must mean I've interacted with them. And our mind is getting tricked into it. At least I want to say mine was. And I've observed this with other people. I don't want to speak for everyone, but I'm speaking for myself here and everything in this video. So when you have that false sense of interaction, you feel like you've interacted with somebody, but you haven't. And that really does not help because I found that in my case, it really led to some mental health issues where I started to feel like I was with people, but I wasn't. And I wasn't really interacting with many people because I felt like I was, but I really didn't. Just think about this. Look through your phone and you go through Snapchat or Instagram, whatever you use more regularly. I'm sure you must have reacted to a bunch of people's stories, some kind of reaction like, oh, that's crazy, cool, whatever. Then go back and think about when is the last time you had an actual conversation with that person that was kind of more text-based or conversationally voice-based. You'll start to realize that there's a lot of people who you've kind of interacted with in the sense you think you've interacted with them, like they posted a story, you reacted to it, they liked your reaction, and then that interaction was over. That's not really an interaction, to me at least, and I found that to become a little bit isolating because one, I was looking at the best curated moments of people's life and comparing my rather sad life to theirs sometimes. I'm not saying my life is all sad, but there are moments where I do feel like my life is not good and I'm having issues. And in those moments, you go to social media in the hopes that it'll make you feel better. You're going for that dopamine hit, and what ends up happening is you actually start feeling worse because you see XYZ got a brand new car. You might be struggling to pay your car note. Then you might have somebody who's posting, oh, I just got engaged and I'm happily married, or I'm going to get married, or post pictures of their weddings. That might be at the worst time for you if you're having issues with your relationship. Or somebody might be traveling or having a great time, exploring the world. And you might be stuck at home because of whatever financial reason or whatever else is going on in your life that doesn't allow you to travel. What happens is you start comparing things. You start constantly feeling worse about yourself, because when people post to social media, they will never post about something that is sad, vulnerable, just not overall positive, or honestly, in a sense, like not showing off. So, to me, Instagram and Facebook and all these social media apps have kind of become like high school reunions, where you show up only to brag to people, that you haven't met in a long time or really even care about how well you've done and how much better off you are than you were before. You really don't care about these people. You really don't, want them to know everything about your life, but you just want to feel better than them. And that is what social media has done, because I found myself doing the same thing. I've posted things, I've posted stories in the hopes that certain people would see it and they'd be impressed by me, impressed by what I can do or what kind of life I lead. And I started realizing at a point, I think 2 years ago, I don't want to do that. I want to live my life because I want to do something, not because I want to show somebody else that I've been doing it. And social media has ever since started to become dicier and dicier for me. And I didn't realize the true depth of this until I deleted the apps off my phone. So I have never been the type of person who's like, I am deleting social media, make a big post about it, and then, a month later just come back, it's like, oh, it was great, I took a break, blah, blah, blah. I don't do that. If I'm gonna get rid of it, I just delete the apps off my phone. I don't tell anyone I'm deleting it. I don't, make a big scene about it. I just do it. And the first time I did that, it was great. I deleted it for a month or two and I felt great, but I learned some things. The first thing was how hopelessly addicted I was to it. Muscle memory would keep making me try to open Instagram. So Instagram would be on the homepage of my phone, bottom right corner in a social folder. That would be that's where the Instagram app would be. I would find myself unlocking my phone, tapping social, and just be like, wait, why did I do this? And it's because I wanted to go to Instagram. That was before. Recently, what I did was I reinstalled Instagram, I want to say a year or so ago. And when I did that, I still didn't want to have convenient access to it. So what I did was I didn't add it to my homepage. If I wanted to use it, I would search for the app and then use it through there. And over the year that I've been using it, I realized I'd gotten addicted to that too. When I deleted Instagram about a month ago, and I kept opening up my phone, pulling down to get the search menu on the iPhone and typing in IN and not getting anything. That's when I started realizing, and I kept doing that for a long time. In fact, I still do it sometimes. I think just a couple of days ago I did it as well, even though I haven't had the app on my phone for weeks now. So social media is addictive. It has a grip on you and it keeps wanting you to come back to it. And the effects it has is not good. So that was a reason why I have kind of decided that social media is not the right thing for me, because I would rather, so you might then be asking, hey, how do I stay in touch with friends? How do I show people, progress in my life? Like the people who I actually want to show. And that's where apps like Discord, WhatsApp, they come into play for me, because I still use Discord religiously. I still text with people continuously, in fact, more now, because I realize I can't see what somebody's doing. I can't see their story and I don't know. So what that forces me to do is the people I actually want to stay in touch with, I'll just send a text. Hey, what's going on? Where are you? It's not easy. It's definitely a little bit awkward to do that sometimes, because you're like, I don't want to do that. We're kind of, society has built itself now that if you call or text someone, it has to be super important or you can't call or text them. And while that's great for a lot of people because they don't want to interact with random people all the time, it also means that we are slowly starting to come to this very extreme of not interacting at all and interacting in these weird ways that don't hold value, in my opinion. you posting a story and then somebody reacting to that story is not a valuable interaction, in my opinion. That is a very shallow, hollow, and there's nothing in that. You really have to think about it, where when is the last time you just spoke to somebody without a social media element to it? And I started doing that, where there are certain people in my life that I do care about, I do miss, friends, people who were important to me at some stage in my life, and I will text them straight up, hey, how's it going? And you'd be like, hey, I took these great pictures, I want to share them with people. Guess what? I just send that to private, like directly to the people I want those pictures to be seen by. I don't post it for 500 people or 300 people or however many people follow you to see and judge you, and then kind of wait for validation from those people. Or, there's another thing I also noticed when Instagram, these social media platforms really make you, they make you crave attention. Whenever you post a story, tell me, how many times have you gone through, looked through how many people have viewed it, and then not only look through how many people have viewed it, how many times have you scrolled through that list to see who are the people who've actually viewed it? And then, how many times have you been like, oh, that person hasn't seen it yet, oh, that person has seen it, oh, okay. How many times have you done that? Just think about these small little interactions that you do and how honestly it isn't beneficial whatsoever. It's a very interesting situation in my opinion. And I think that social media, it's gonna be, when we look back at this 10, 15, 20 years from now, we're gonna realize we were playing with an atomic bomb without realizing it, because this is gonna have a really, really major impact on not only us, society as a whole. It has shifted what society is. It has shifted what communication should be like. It has turned us into people who enjoy outrage, who enjoy drama, and who are very trapped in our own small little world. Instagram and Facebook are particularly guilty of this because they force feed you down an echo chamber. Whatever you're interacting with and whatever's keeping you on the website is what they're gonna keep serving to you. So if, say, an example, I am a political supporter of a certain side and I only interact and like with posts that agree with me, Instagram, Facebook, all these apps are out to make money. They can only make money if I'm in the app, if I'm using the app. So they have to make sure that they're gonna give me stuff that I interact with. Even if it's not good for me, they're gonna give it to me because it's good for them. It's good for their bottom line, not for me. And that's where you have to realize social media, it's the junk food of the internet. It's great once in a while and honestly, hard to live without, but it has long-lasting, real, very terrifying effects that I think nobody truly understands yet, including me. And having sort of started to realize this, especially after just trying to get away from these apps, has been eye-opening. So this whole video was just kind of a look into why I haven't been using social media as much and why you haven't seen AutoTechnica's presence on Instagram, Facebook, and all the other social media websites, TikTok particularly, because I don't want to partake in that right now. I think that they're impacting me and the way I operate in a negative way, and I want to stay away from it. I still use apps like YouTube, Discord, WhatsApp, because I feel like they have a little bit more of a better experience when it comes to communication and the kind of interactions that you are able to have on here. So that was kind of a look at social media for me. So that's where I stand right now. And what would I say here is that I would suggest everybody, if you can, try it for a day, for a week, 10 days, however long you can go. Try deleting the apps off your phone and don't tell people you're doing it, right? Just delete the apps off your phone for 10 days and see what it's like. I know now it's very difficult because a lot of people run their businesses, their income is based on using these social media platforms. So I know it's not something that's feasible for everyone. Honestly, it's not supposed to be feasible for me too. I run on social media. Social media gives me publicity, publicity gives me views, and that's how I make my money. But even I have kind of come to this decision that I need to take a balanced break from it. So I'm experimenting and trying things. And I would recommend you guys do the same, just so you can understand where your limits are and how exactly social media is impacting you, how it ends up shaping your life, because you'll find that you're gonna be bored a lot without social media, because that's what I found. I am super bored a lot after I delete Instagram, and because of that, I've actually started to pick up hobbies again. I've started doing crosswords. I do things that I thought I didn't have time for, because whatever tiny little amount of time I had free, I'd open up social media and sit there and waste my 10-15 minutes. Oftentimes, that's the first thing you do, even if you're bored, even if you say you're trying to avoid a situation, that's kind of what you do. So it was very eye-opening for me to not have that kind of crutch to rely on, and to have to actually explore things and do other things outside of that. So that was my take on social media for now, guys. Let me know what you think. Have you ever taken a break from social media? I'm very excited to learn about this. You know, it's such a unstudied field, right? Social media is very new, and it's crazy how much it's taken over our lives. So let me know what you think about this. Let me know if you've ever been off social media and how it's impacted you guys. That's it for this one, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Catch you in the next one.